I'm not sure about you and Nias. We've had some discussion about this, and you and I both agree in a conquest format where you have to win with all three decks. Most of the time, most players just queue the same deck again and try to get a win with it because hey, you have to win with it anyway, right?
Mm-hmm.
But it allows the other player a little bit of an advantage if you do queue up with the same player. We have Double Loot Hoarder, Blood Mage, and Frostbolt in Penny's hand. He's got going to start out with that. We have Acolyte of Pain, Grim Patron, and double Acolyte of Pain, Grim Patron, and Execute in Theude's hand to start off with.
When you get the feel of how a deck rolls, you understand the different tech cards they might have in that deck. That's why Malagos not being shown 2 games in a row is very important, because that is something that Theude is probably not prepared for. But,
Absolutely not.
But absolutely, and like you said, I think it's also an advantage to the other player as well, because you can kind of pick your matchup as it gets closer. That's why I'm surprised that he played Freeze Mage into this. So us not having played with the Malagos version of this, I'm assuming that he feels pretty comfortable against Warriors. So
yes. The one trick here, we know, Penny does have a druid of his own. It is a fairly standard druid list, double combo, Emperor Thaurissan, Cenarius. But that particular list does normally get wrecked by the Grim Patron Warrior that we do have on screen right now. So I think it's smart not to play that one right now. I do believe a handlock may have been a good response. There aren't many minions, in a handlock that Grim Patron Warrior is going to be able to War Song and Patron into a bunch of stuff to continue to grow Patron after Patron, whereas even this Freeze Mage is going to have Acolyte of Pain, is going to have Blood Mage Talnos, is going to have Loot Warder, is going to have Mad Scientist. So there are going to be many minions that Grim Patron will be able to continue to proc and spawn more Grim Patrons off of.
no, absolutely, and I'm surprised. Well, I'm not really surprised, but if I were Penny, I wouldn't think that this would be Grim Patron, even though it's dominant in the meta right now. His other deck's Zoo, his other deck's Druid. Those are 2 pretty fast decks. So when you're bringing decks, wouldn't you typically expect somebody to bring a control deck rather than anything else? I suppose Zoo in its own right is more of a mid-range board control deck, so I suppose that could be more of it, but your Druid deck? So would you have, if you were a Penny, would you have expected to queue into the Grim Patron Warrior?
Well, it depends. If he was watching the stream earlier and saw what Theude was able to play during or in between his first match, first round game, then he knows it's Grim Patron Warrior. If he did not get the chance to watch any of the first round, did not get to see Theude's hand, then he did not know. So we have 9 damage on board already with the 3 Grim Patrons that are there. He could slam one of the ones he does have and Battle Rage and just draw 1 and then 3. So 4 cards right there. He could even Cruel Task and draw 4 cards total. So let's see. We do have the War Song come in.
You think he's going to Cruel Task, create another one, and face him up?
And
I agree with this play.
Maybe even, yeah.
I agree.
So the Cruel Task one. I
do like that. I do like that just because you're going into a Blizzard turn and you don't want to lose 2 of your Grim Patrons at once.
Well, you're going to end up losing that one regardless. I guess yeah, you're right.
But you only lose 1 instead of 2.
Yes. But we just end up with and it's only 1 different damage having the extra Grim Patron out there. Blizzard, so wow. That's rough because
Freezes the Grim Patrons that do come.
Yep, that's so it's good. He's able to get it frozen, but he's going to need a Flame Strike next. It's difficult to see. I do see Doomsayer.
He has double Doomsayer. He has Frostbolt, Ice Lance, 2 Frostbolts, and an Ice Block, and he does have Alex Draza.
All right, now
Battle
a
Rage.
Battle Rage! Drawing 5 cards completely fills up his hand. And as you can see on the top of the screen, Theude's hand is completely full. Has Armor Smith, Frothing Berserker, more Cycle with Gnomish Inventors, Unstable Ghouls, and a Fiery War Axe. Just going to be able to continue to put on damage after damage. And
with that Armor Smith out, if he does have AoE, he's going to gain a lot of armor.
There is another Blizzard. Wow, the
Top deck.
The top deck Pini got was nice. He needed it to stay alive. Unfortunately, he's not able to play a Doomsayer along with it, so a Grim Patron and a ton of armor from, two Grim Patrons, a ton of armor from the Armor Smith are still going to be alive, but they will be frozen. Now, you do have Grom, and can't activate it with Slam. So, you do 7 damage right now. Even cycling with a Gnomish doesn't really get you in a position to win this turn. So you are going to Gnomish. You could slam your own Grim Patron just to continue to add on more pressure. You have Whirlwind, so you have an activator for Grom next turn.
You mean your Frothing? You said Grim Patron. Oh, slam your own Grim Patron, sorry.
Yes.
I thought you meant slam down Grim Patron. So I agree with the Gnomish. If he had a Flame Strike in his hand, he would have played it last turn. That would have cleared the board.
Yes,
so
either of the last 2 turns.
So, Pini does draw into Arcane Intellect, but with both Blizzards gone, he really needs a Frost Nova, and he draws 2.
Both Frost Novas. So, unfortunately, he doesn't know Theude is going to be able to pop the block this turn. He has Gromish, he has Whirlwind, but wow,
he can get rid of the Doomsayer. He can slam and execute the Doomsayer.
He can, but then he cannot proc the block as long as he does that. He could, however, play Emperor Thoris
and Whirlwind.
Yes, because next turn he could slam your own Grom.
He could Grom Whirlwind, break the block, which I wouldn't do because that still leaves him with 6 health, and it's coming into Alex Straw's turn, so your closing card is kind of gone.
What now?
Let's see. And he's hovering down, ready to drop the Acolyte, thinking. He does drop the Acolyte. It looks like he's trying to get himself some more card draw. And Whirlwind execute, maybe? See, 1 Whirlwind. I disagree with this play. He should have Whirlwind first, because now he has no place for the Grim Patron.
Well, had he done that, he would not have been able to cycle with the Gnomish Inventor. He would have drawn 1 less card. And at this point, you're probably not concerned about how big your board is, because it's already enough to continue going.
He would have been able to cycle with.
Because
now there's a free spot.
He's one of the pages that you're correct. So, yeah. Another Frost Nova, another Doomsayer.
So, we've seen a couple of mistakes from Theude in this matchup.
We have.
Now, they haven't really been big mistakes because they haven't decided or flipped the decision of what the game would be, but still mistakes nonetheless, which could play into a matchup where it's a little bit closer.
Yeah, it's interesting to see if it's going to hamper his ability to move when he moves forward. At this point, you have to Grom into the Doomsayer. I do not suggest popping the block. Yes, you want to pop the block, but you lose everything you have if you do that. So you get the Whirlwind. You are getting just a ton of armor. Just look at this life total for Theude. This is even with the OTK.
And that is exactly why I feel that this class is favored. When you do have a full board, because yes, Freeze Mage can deal with your board, freeze it, Blizzard, stuff like that, but a lot of the life totals exceed Blizzard. So even when you Blizzard, if you have something like Armor Smith out, you're still gaining all that armor. He's sitting at 58 life right now. 58 life. So even if he outcharged him down to 15, he'd be sitting at 50 life.
It's really insane. Well, he does get a little bit of a heal, but unfortunately, the block will be popped this turn. The only question is, wow, do you kill the Mad Scientist first, so the Mad Scientist does not spawn another his last ice block. His last ice block is not in his hand. He does have Alexstrasza.
I would, just because you force him to draw it.
Yes, you force him to
You
have
force
it.
it to either have it in his hand or draw it. And you still have plenty of damage on the board to proc the ice block. Pop the ice block.
Yes. Even with Alexstrasza coming down next turn.
I even get rid of my Grim Patron here. I slam down Thorson, make stuff cheaper. Nah, I don't think I get rid of it. I think I cycle my Acolyte and slam.
He's not too worried about cycling. It's fine. He should have all the cards that he needs to win. So using the Death Spike, going ahead, killing the... Oh, proccing the Ice Barrier. That's right. We did just see one Ice Barrier this game. I forgot we had not seen the second Ice Barrier. So,
but he still has the damage on the board to get off.
Yes, and gets...
So he's still forcing him to there.
He does get him down to 1 health this time, so gets him down to 1 health. Perfect pop, perfect ice block pop for Theude. Still puts, Pini on getting the other ice block or bust, basically. Let's see.
And
he gets Archmage. He does have Frostbolt. He has Ice Lance. So he's making a ton of fireballs. But unfortunately,
and he knows it's over.
That looks like it will be it. Oh, scary! Just continuing to add more armor to the Warriors already absolutely.
Let's see where this ends. Oh, ends at 60.
60 health. 60 health for Theude.